Welcome to Bible Shorts, Episode 3, God's Plan. Well, remember in Episode 2, we finally found out that Abram had a son called Ishmael. We're thinking, great, this is the answer to God's promise to Abram that he would have many descendants. Not so fast. 13 years go by after Ishmael's birth, and God speaks to Abram again and reminds him and says, remember, I'm going to bless you, and you're going to be the father of multitudes. And I think I should call you Abraham now, because that kind of sounds like father of multitudes in Hebrew. And yes, I'm going to bless your wife, Sarah. I know you've been calling her Sarai, but we should call her Sarah now. And many kings will be descended from her. Wow, this sounds pretty cool, right? So Abraham bows before God and thinks to himself, kind of laughing, really? Sarah is really past the age when women can have children. Is this really going to happen? And God said, yes. It is through a son of yours from Sarah. And Abraham says, don't you remember I have a son already called Ishmael? And God said, don't worry about Ishmael. I'll take care of him. It's through this child of Sarah's that my promise will take place. Well, the next thing that happens is that Abraham is sitting outside the entrance of his tent at the hottest part of the day, under some oak trees, when 3 men suddenly appear. So Abraham says to them, here, stay here for a while. Let me bring some water so you can wash your feet, and how about lunch? And they say, okay. And Abraham quickly tells Sarah, who's in the tent, quick, flatbread, make some flatbread, quick. And to his servants, Abraham says, quick, bring some lunch. And they do, and the men are eating. When one of them says, where is your wife, Sarah? And Abraham says, she's in the tent. And one of them says, Sarah is going to have a son. And Sarah, who's listening inside the tent, laughs and thinks to herself, I am way too old to have children. Is this really going to happen? And the men say, why did Sarah laugh? Is anything too difficult for God? And Sarah denies it and says, I didn't laugh. And she must have said it loud enough that they heard, because they said, yes, you did laugh. And then they finish their lunch and go on their way. And guess what happens? Sarah conceives and has a child. And Sarah and Abraham name him Isaac, which means laughter, or he laughs. So why does Jesus and the scribes and Pharisees and the Apostle Paul in the New Testament all keep talking about Abraham? Because Abraham had faith and believed in God's promise. Plus, the people of Israel considered themselves the descendants of Abraham through his son Isaac and Isaac's grandchildren. 12 of them, 12 boys, whom they considered the ancestors of the 12 tribes of Israel. So now you know.